And we are live. This is Travis Witherspoon from Carter Cal Capital, helping you play your financial, helping you fight for your financial freedom throughout the forex market. This is a Friday episode of Trade with Travis. Hopefully, everybody's doing very well on this Friday morning. I have 8:01. We are in the midst of being able to have a pretty decent week. Obviously, which could always do better when it comes down to certain things. Have confidence between everything that you end up doing for all your trades and all that stuff. But overall, very good week. Super excited about um, how we are progressing overall over the course of the last 4 months. And I would like to be able to show you what that progression actually looks like with verified results and what we end up doing. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I need to make sure that I can get my YouTube folks to be able to know exactly what we're looking at before we end up getting started. Hold on, let me place in the disclaimer, and I got to make sure that they can be able to get their links. Just give me one quick second. But if you are here live, make sure that you end up chopping in and saying, hey, always good to be able to talk to everybody. The community is growing pretty fast, so I'm super excited about that. I want to say it wasn't even 3 weeks ago. We was at 500. Now we're at 600 strong. So it's always cool to keep on seeing everybody want to be able to be in this community, and also it's profiting off of being in this community. It takes, obviously, I know it takes a little bit of hard work to be able to do all that stuff, but each and every day chipping away, just trying to make sure that you can be able to get the best out of it. It's always good. So just give me one quick second. I'm just trying to make sure everything is in. Let's see, can we do this all at the same time? Here. Good. And make sure these are placed in right. And I bet we'll be good to go. Save. Thumbnail. Bam. Save. Okay, so cool. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and go through the disclaimer. I'm not a CTA, so I'm not going to tell you whether to buy or sell. What I'm going to do is teach you education, and from that education, you can be able to make your own informed decision. Now, understand that trading involves risk. It involves risk of being able to make money, also involves risk of being able to lose money. So please keep that in mind. And understand that past performance is not indicative of future results, which means that if you end up making money yesterday, it's not promised that you end up making money today. So with that being said, as we go through and take a look at the charts, we always start off by taking a look at what's happening from an economic calendar standpoint. It allows us to be able to know overall what are we facing, whether it's a trader's day or whether it's a fundamentals day, and then after that, how we can build around it. Let's see, did DAX already make that counter trend line break over? Yes, it did. Okay, well, let's forget all that. Let's go ahead and talk about a trade real quick. DAX, or German 40, if you end up taking a look at it based off of the 15-minute, we end up getting triggered in a little bit earlier when the market ended up having this huge breakout to the upside. Since then, the market has had a little bit of a counter trend line break to the downside, and then after that started to pop back up. I am interested in being able to take this trade for many reasons. I want to be able to finish out this move, hopefully end up turning this into probably the last trade that we end up taking for the week. As long as it stays above that counter trend line break, I'm actually pretty good on all of the parameters to go along with that. So I am looking at taking this trade right now as we speak. Bam, there we go. I end up taking a entry at 1382. My stop loss, what I end up doing, instead of having it back where it was when it first originally broke, I have my stop loss below the actual swing low, now at 13,023. As long as this market stays above this counter trend line break, then I will stay in the overall move. If it breaks below 13,061 and rejects again, then I will look at exiting early especially if this next candlestick doesn't hold above the counter trend line break. If it doesn't hold above, then that means that the market's not ready, and we'll just look at being able to get back in a little bit later on. So if it rejects quick, then I'm just going to go ahead and get out of it and then look at being able to get back in a little bit later on once the market truly breaks the counter trend line break. But it looked like it crossed over. I think I just got faked out on that one. I'm going to give it a couple seconds, and then after that, I'm going to give it a couple seconds. Then after that, if it doesn't turn back over, then I'll go ahead, exit off, and wait for this alarm to actually give it, let me know when it truly breaks over. And I probably should edit this trend line to where, let's see, why have crossing down? Hold on, that's the wrong one. Hold on, I think I might have faked I didn't fake myself out. Okay. Should be a counter trend line break up, not down. And it needs to close. Okay. Once per bar close. I hope I didn't play myself right here. Yeah, I hope I didn't play myself right here. I think I end up clicking on the wrong alert. Obviously, when you end up looking at this as a continuation, you want to be able to see this thing actually break above and then do something like that. What happened was the market ended up moving up to 82, and then after that, quickly rejecting. I'm going to give it a little bit of time because obviously the market is bullish. But from an obvious standpoint, I want this thing to keep on giving us good continuation. If it falls below 13,062, then that might be cause to be able to hurry up and exit off of this one. But I'm going to come back to that. We'll take a look at that along the way when it comes down to the move. I am active in it now because I end up taking a trade. So we'll get back to that briefly. So Friday, let's talk about what happened, or let's talk about what's going to happen. We're going to end up having President Lagarde end up speaking for the Eurozone. That actually already happened at 5:30. We're going to end up having Fed Evans, Fed George, and Fed Waller end up speaking for the United States. Obviously, we're probably still going to end up talking about what's happening for inflation and everything else like that for the overall move. So typically Fridays, and I always say this every time we end up talking about the Friday trade, is see what you can be able to get, pick your spots out, take your trade. If it's not there, then don't sit up there and force it. It will you'll have a better opportunity of being able to catch it when the market is actually primed and ready to be able to go. Probably during the middle of the week or probably at the beginning of the week, because there's better moves at the beginning of the week than it is the end of the week. That's been a proven fact for me week after week after week when it comes down to movements. And so that's my thought process when it comes down to that. I always want to make sure that I end up doing my work from Monday through Thursday. Friday, it's like one of those days to where, hey, yeah, you end up, we have a trade. We don't have to sit up there and force it. I'm not sitting up there trying to stay in trades over the weekend or anything else like that. This system is not built for that. It's built to be able to get what you can off of explosive movements. If you end up getting them, then great. If not, then we just move on. Hopefully that makes sense for everybody. Okay, I'm gonna quickly exit off of this trade real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and take that quick little loss. I got faked out on the counter trend line break. All right, so right in or right out on DAX. If it breaks above 13,080, then obviously we can be able to make that move. But I didn't like when the market broke the counter trend line break, it didn't stay over. All right, let's go ahead and let me show some charts. It probably might be nice to do that. Here we go. Let's go ahead and go to the big three. Let's get into it real quick. Gold still in consolidation, bounced off of 1685. Currently, right now, the market is at 1720. This is in a strong consolidation box, so that means I'm going to stay away from it and not do any moves based off of that one at this particular point. So gold is out of. I haven't traded gold since the summertime, so gold is out of the picture. Take a look at what's happening with oil. We end up talking about how oil is basically in a bearish crown that could go all the way down to 57, but there's a better chance of the market falling down to 77.11 before doing anything else. Currently, right now, at the beginning of the day, we can see that the market is starting to retrace a little bit. I think the reason why the market is retracing is because it's in the buy zone, and people are taking profit. They end up selling it, uh, and people that are bottom feeders that are looking at scalping opportunities are looking at being able to buy at this particular point. So um, that's what I think is actually happening at this particular point in time before any movement is going to end up happening. So oil probably wouldn't look at doing any trades today either. United States dollar index, kind of the same thing. Last time we took a look at it, it was a counter trend line break. Now we're seeing the full movement of this counter trend line break to the downside, with the market already hitting the daily D extension at 13,138, I believe, or 168. So as long as this market stays at a point to where it stays below this counter trend line break, then after that you should see the market start to fall and continue moving on this merry way for its movement. So United States dollar index, very simple, probably won't be doing anything at all when it comes down to that. All right, here we go. Let's say hey. Hey. Let's say hey everybody. Hey everybody. There we go. Get up. Down. Okay, so those three probably wouldn't pay attention to all that much when it comes down to movements. Now, obviously, for the people that are watching this live, there may end up being some trading. There might be some trading moves that you may be interested in. So place those in the chat box. We'll go over them. But overall, not much when it comes down to that. So let's talk about trades that did hit. We're going to start off with US 30. Then after that, we'll talk about what's happening with XPX 500. Then after that, we'll get back into what happened with DAX. And then also we'll talk about what's currently happening with German 40, why I end up exiting the trade early, and what will make me get back in. I've already made money off of DAX. So I want to make sure everybody's kind of clear. We talked about this trade yesterday and when we could be able to get in. So you should already be in. You should already be up. I end up taking profit early because my trail stop ended up triggering in. So at this particular point, trying to, I guess the word greedy would be the word at this particular point. I'm trying to see if I can get it all the way up to the full D extension. And if that happens, then obviously be happy about it. But I want to do it right. I want to see this market fully break this counter trend line break. All right, so let's talk about what happened with US 30. We ended up taking a trade. We ended up taking a trade right when the market ended up breaking the counter trend line break yesterday. There was a couple chances to be able to re-enter on this trade, but the thought process was that we was taking it to the top of the resistance. And once the market ended up hitting the top of the resistance, we'll probably end up seeing a little bit of a counter trend line break first, and then after that, we can be able to go after the long-term move that could potentially happen. Now, yesterday, we end up talking about Jerome Powell and how he could affect the market and how the market will probably end up moving down based off of some of the stuff that he ended up talking about and saying in the meeting that he had yesterday. What happened was that we ended up getting placed into a trade. That market ended up selling to the downside. We quickly ended up making profit on that. Then after that, the market ended up pushing up. And then after that, once it ended up pushing up to the upside, it probably ended up taking a buy. If you did not have a trail stop on that buy trade, you probably would have got stopped out. Now, I always say when it comes down to breakout trades, if you end up taking a loss, you always try to re-enter at the same spot or re-enter at that break-in area, at that breakout spot to where you can be able to get opportunity to be able to get back in. And that's exactly what ended up happening. The market was very erratic overall, but when it did break and give the final opportunity to be able to make that move, we did end up getting that 300 points when it came down to that movement. So take it easy. Y'all have a good day. So not necessarily mad on the loss of the trade because you end up getting that back because you end up taking a short and quick loss on that second move. But overall, market ended up giving about 3 chances to be able to win off of this one. Right when the market broke to the upside the last time, and then on the counter trend line break when the market ended up making a U-turn back here to the upside. So overall, felt pretty good about that. And currently right now, there's really no trade to be able to take. Now, let's talk about this from a long-term perspective, because from a long-term perspective, we're really getting to a point to where we're going to run into a trade that I'm truly excited about. and I think it's going to end up happening sometime probably next week. Um, if you notice, we finally have broken out of this channel. We finally are almost about to break out of this channel. If this market remains to be bullish, then we have this large amount of space from this low volume node all the way up to that node right there, and being able to go after that spot. Now, we're talking about this for overall distance. This is about 960 points of overall movement that we can be able to take advantage of if that market continues to move at the pace that it's doing. So that's what I'm excited about. This market, I mean, I'm probably hoping to see that the market kind of rejects and kind of falls in here one more time before actually being able to pop out. If that does happen, then what I will end up doing is that I'll end up placing in a pending order on the outside of this overall area. Let's see. The market ended up hitting 990. That was the high. So it's already done went past 32. Currently, the market is at 31,960. My order will probably end up being right when it ends up getting to 32. I'll probably look at being able to make an order at 32. Once that order is placed in at 32, or if you want to be truly conservative and go above this overall high that ended up happening on July 26th and July 28th, that high was at 32,071. But that means that it will truly break this would truly break the high volume node if that happens, 3271. But 3200, from 3200, looking at being able to take it all the way up to 32,960. Oh, what's the number? 32,570. Am I looking at that right? Let's see. Go to the hour. Yeah, I really do think there's a pop that's about to happen. More information gives us a better chance of being able to get this right. Let's say 32,640. 32,640. You're going up to 600. Going up to 600 points on this move. And if that happens, then you got a better chance of being able to get truly being able to get something out of it. That will end up being the trade that I end up looking at. Stop loss will end up being below the point of control or below the highest price. Yeah, below the highest price or the point of control when the market ends up breaking back to the inside. That would be the move that I would be very much interested in. Like I said, I'm hoping that the market rejects and then pops back out. I don't want to take this trade right now because the market has already done went through this zone. I would like to see it fall, have the energy to be able to truly break out of this overall area. Then after that, that's where that long-term move will end up coming into play for us being able to get in on this one. But US 30, we already hit for profit yesterday. Well, based off of yesterday's trade, congratulations to the people that ended up taking that trade. Now we're at a point to where we're just looking at being able to find the biggest trade, the one that basically could make our month in this next one overall. I think I might end up doing 2 orders because if we just go based off of the last 10 to 12 days, this market could go all the way up to 780, possibly even, we look at volume, possibly even 900 based off of that movement. So I think I might end up doing 2 orders. I have one going to 670, I believe that was the number. And then after that, having another one with that same order that will end up going after 32,900. Thing is, once again, I just hoping that this thing can be able to retrace and then give us a move like that. If that does happen, then I think that both of these would be 2 very good valid trades that you can get in and stay in for a while. But typically, you need a little bit of energy for the market to be able to fall. Then after that, truly break out of that position to do it. Okay. Let's go over NYSE 100. NYSE 100, same deal. We end up having that break yesterday. Market fell to the downside, caught the sell, went back up to the upside. If you had a trail stop, you probably would have saved it on the second trade. If not, then you probably would have got kicked out. Third re-enter when the market ended up breaking the counter trend line break up here, fully went up and hit that 102 points to the upside. So it should be good on that. There is a bigger move that we end up talking about on this one as well. Currently right now, did I get placed in on that one? Yes, it did. Currently right now, we're active on this long-term trade that we end up seeing on NYSE. We end up talking about this one a little bit earlier at 12,445 with a stop loss of 12,360 with a take profit of going out to 12,875. Currently right now, the market, kind of like what I ended up saying before, I would actually truly hope that the market ends up kind of retracing a little bit before actually pushing back up. Currently right now, we are in the retrace phase of this last move that ended up happening. So I would actually like the energy of this move to kind of retrace first and then pop back to the upside and give us a better move, or give us a sustained move that we can be able to take points off of to the upside. But currently right now, we're not there yet. Let's go back to DAX real quick. DAX is fully broken out of the counter trend line break. This is the time that you can be able to jump in now. That's the move that we're kind of looking for. I said, remember, if you can get it at 30.080, you can go ahead and get back in. So I will go ahead and take that trade now, or if you stayed in the trade, there we go. Trying to see if this market has enough energy to be able to get up to 13,160 for this move. I like this big energy pop that we end up getting at the beginning of the move. So I think that we have a good chance of being able to, once we end up clearing 13,111, then I think that we have a great chance of being able to finish out this move. And hopefully we can finish it within the first hour before the market actually starts. So we don't have to worry about having to fight people when the market actually ends up making its first little jump. But this is you can go ahead and call this an active trade now. Once again, the trade parameters that I ended up updating on this one was 13.080. Stop loss ended up placing below the swing low at 13.023. And then after that, you have that pop up to the upside from there. So this is an active trade right now as well. That would be the trade that I would look at being able to do on this move. XVX 500 broke out of its overall area. If you end up taking that trade on that one, you should be positive as well on this one. I end up taking profit early, and currently right now I'm actually looking at being able to get back in on this one. So I'll be kind of looking for the same thing that we just talked about with DAX. Looking for a counter trend line break. We can get a counter trend line break on this one, then I'll look at being able to ride out that move. But this is the trade that we're looking at this particular point right here. Did you see Luna? No, to be honest, I haven't. I don't trade altcoins as much as I used to. I actually find that I make way more money off of just trading indexes, and can be able to do it and be able to have a solid move on a daily basis compared to trying to wait it out and trying to wait for moves. Doesn't necessarily mean that I won't. It just means that I'm a little bit more, my eyes kind of stay on indexes a little bit more. But let's take a look at it. Maybe there might be an opportunity, but based off of the way that you end up writing that opportunity is probably already done, came and went. Let's see. Okay. Okay. I won 126%. Okay. Well, there you go. Came and went. There's nothing wrong with that. There's opportunities everywhere. Um, Same thing that ended up happening with Bitcoin. We ended up placing in the trade on Bitcoin, I want to say a week before, and it finally ended up triggering and then placing everybody in and then hitting profit. I forgot about the trade and looked to see that I ended up making what 8% off of that move. Um, uh, yep, that'll do it. Look at that. Yep, that'll do it. And that kind of fits, if I'm being very honest. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have been patient enough to look at that. But it has the same, it did the same thing that any one of our strategies we end up being had consolidation. Um, had a little bit of broke down into a low volume node vortex area. Then after that, what it started doing was creating a true and massive consolidation that ended up happening for a very long time. I'm not going to say how many days it actually is because at this particular point, it really doesn't matter. But that was your support, that was your resistance. Where the market ended up breaking out of 2.21, I believe. I have this boxed up for some reason. Oh no, that's me. I already boxed it up. Those I just happened. 2.21. Um, yeah, that's crazy growth. What was the news behind it? Savvy, what was the news behind it? Anything that you know from a news factor why they ended up happening? That has me kind of intrigued about what's happening with Bitcoin because moves don't typically happen like that without Bitcoin. There we go. Hmm. Uh, that answered that question. Golly. You gotta love trading, man. All right, so went into a triangle, had a small consolidation. I know we ended up talking about Ethereum like this a little bit earlier. Said once it ends up breaking out of this overall area, then you have an opportunity of being able to push. It went and smashed through the consolidation that ended up happening, and literally just hit the top of almost the top of this low volume node. That's the reason why, if you notice, right here in this area, there really wasn't that much hesitation, and it ended up topping off right there. So um, I think that the move is actually kind of somewhat over with at this particular point. And then after that, you may see that it may end up continuing a little bit more, but I think that a consolidation may end up starting um, a little bit later on at this particular point before being able to make a move first. Um, or I think consolidation may end up going again before actually happening like that. But that kind of goes based off of um, based off of this last block that ended up happening from August 19th to August 26th. But good move. Hopefully you caught it. Did you? Let me ask this question: did you catch it? Did you catch the move personally? Ah, come on, what's going on with DAX? Okay, had a good break. Market ended up looks like it went into this retest phase and now it's starting to break back in. Okay, there's always the next one. I don't like how this market actually ended up rejecting off of this counter trend line break and went back down. That's the first warning. Anytime that you end up having a counter trend line break, see if the buyers can be able to hold this. If they can be able to hold this, then I'll be okay with staying in. If not, and it ends up breaking below, if this ends up breaking below 13,062, then I'll go ahead and call it. What's going on, trading crypto flag? Did you finish that trade on US 30? yesterday? Did you stay in that trade on US 30 or on what was it? Or on XPX? You should be in profit with both of those. Or you should have hit profit with US 30. Probably should you should still be in the trade with XBX. Let's see. Um, that's the typical ones that I do. I'm going to stay on here for a brief minute and see if there's any pairs that anybody would like to be able to talk about. Also, I'd like to be able to talk about how we end up doing for its progress at this particular point. Um, for its movement, I like to verify most all of the moves that we end up taking currently right now as we speak. Um, this is what we end up doing on DAX alone this summertime that we end up talking about for its trading. Um, at this particular point, we was at 142% for the overall gain. Um, today we end up doing 10%. Currently, right now, for the longs, let's see, no, I couldn't trade because I made a long on Euro United States over 2%. Okay, congratulations on that. We've won 46% of our long trades, won 50% of our short trades with a profit factor of 1.5. Best trade, obviously 4,600. Worst trade, negative 873. Currently, right now, we end up doing 32% in June, 26% in July, 35% in August, and currently, right now, we're at 5%. So happy about that. Let's take a look at US 30. US 30, we actually end up having a down month last month. I missed on that one trade that I talked about where all we had to do was just stay in, and that one kind of affected my account in two different ways. Jerome Powell, once again, it was right at the end of the month. Um, we're up 43%. We have 43% for its longs, 40% for its shorts. Did 18% in June, did 59% in July, did negative 24% on that one trade in August, and currently right now we're back up at 29% when it comes down to that. Overall, profit factor could be a lot better, but we'll kind of get back at it when it comes down to that movement. Um, overall percentage gain or average gain when it comes down to this is at 75%. So we're getting there. We can do a heck of a lot better, but we're getting there. Um, is there any trades that anybody are interested in that like to be able to talk about them? If not, then I go ahead and call it, and I tell everybody have a good weekend, and we'll go ahead and move forward. Okay, so here we go. Brief review. Market on Dow Jones is above this overall area. I said I wanted to be able to take a trade at 32. I am interested in being able to take a trade at 32, and then after that, ride it all the way up to 32.9. That's a 900-point move. This is probably the biggest move that we're going to end up seeing for August at this. I mean, for September at this particular point. Let's see. I got two trades. There's two trades that I'd be interested in. One from 3,200 to 32,780. The other one at 3,200 going to 32,640. Um, I have not pulled the trigger on that trade, even though the market is above. Even though the market is above the actual resistance. The reason why I haven't took it is because I think that the market will probably end up falling down first, and I would rather it fall down and then after that, um, being able to push back up. All in all, I nearly doubled my money. There we go. Nice, 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 nice. If you have the chart to where you end up showing that trade, put it up, attach it. Let everybody celebrate you, man. It's always good talking. It's always good talking profit. That's what we're here for in the first place. Um, Yeah, but I want this market to be able to fall. I need. I'm not saying I need it to be able to fall. I don't need it to be able to do anything, but um, I would like for it to be able to fall. Now, if you look at it, it looks like it's retesting this overall move, and we might not necessarily have an opportunity. We just have to pull the trigger and just be comfortable with what happens. Um, but this is kind of spelling out that we may end up seeing that this market may end up having a big jump at some point in time to the upside, and it may end up remaining to be that way because it is outside of consolidation. Don't get me wrong that it's not outside of consolidation. Um, and I don't want to sit up there and miss out on the beginning of this move, especially if this is the beginning of the move. Um, Jeez, I think I'm talking myself into doing it. All right, here we go. We're gonna look at taking a trade. 31,997 stop loss is gonna end up being at 31,720. Bigger stop loss for a bigger win. Um, Take profit one 32. 32,780. Come on, 32,780. Don't do that now. Don't have time for that now. 32,780. I would like to be able to get into this trade now. Come on, thank you. Okay. To me, this is a 5% trade. All right, triggered in. I got 32 even off of that one. You can do it on one other account. Just give me 1 second. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I'm going with a bigger stop loss in this case once again because um, I know that it's going to take a little bit of time for this one to be able to move. 31,720. And if it turns around and retraces, at least I have a opportunity to be able to get back into it a little bit later on. Let's see. And on that one, second trade is to 640. 640. Okay. Okay. My only hope is, well, not only hope. My hope is that 640. My hope is at this point, then what the market will probably end up doing. I hope that we end up getting a big pop up early. Then after that, kind of phases off, and then after that, does another move like that. That is what I hope happens overall. I would like that to be able to happen. Market pops up, have a big retracement, then pop up again. Now, what I am kind of happy about is what we just talked about with Litecoin and in Bitcoin. Bitcoin ends up making a big pop up to the upside, so now we have a chance of being able to say, okay, well, we can get into this move, we can be able to ride it out. And as long as it doesn't break inside of the consolidation once again and goes down 300 points, then we should be good. Um, and that'll be something that we can be able to ride out and just kind of hold off with for um, a particular long amount of time. This will probably end up being one of those ones that I will wait the whole. I'll probably wait the whole time and let it kind of ride itself out and go from there. Because once again, we are in a very low volume node when it comes down to volumes, which means that we can go big fish hunting on this one. Um, Especially once it ends up breaking past 32,070. If it breaks past 32,070, then I think that we're very much in the clear when it comes down to this. Well, use the US. You can do a mini. If you end up doing a US 30 mini, you can be able to trade off of it, and you don't necessarily have to have all the money in the account. Now, will you get the full $770 for its profit? No, but you could get a portion of it. Um, and be able to go that way. So that might be one. That might be one of those ideas. Currently, right now, the market's at 32.11, so we are in profit. We'll see how this thing kind of rolls out. I'm hoping at 9:30 that the market gives a big pop up to the upside and stays that way, and then after that, kind of goes from there. The next resistance level that is about to happen would be at 32.82. So I probably more than likely the market would probably go up to 32.82 first, and then after that kind of hesitate and then kind of go from there. Resistance 3 for the day is at 32.382. So there could be a chance of this market truly having a pretty substantial move to the upside. But there we go. We got to trade in on that one. The counter trend line break is happening off of NYSE as well. Um, well, shoot, we're getting triggered in off all of these. Hold on, everyone, give me one more second. Not missing out on profit, or not missing out on these opportunities, because this is the biggest move that we're probably going to end up seeing all month. Let's see. Let's see. Stop loss. Um, 12,870. It would be nice to end the weekend off with a big pop like that if it does happen. I will say that. Or at least put ourselves in a good position to be able to see that pop. All right, there we go. What broker do I actually trade? Good question. I use Osprey FX. Um, Osprey FX is a non-U.S. regulated broker that allows you to be able to trade ECN, um, allows you to be able to trade oil, allows you to be able to trade gold, allows you to be able to trade the things that a U.S. regulated broker would not necessarily allow you to do. Um, with that being said, with trading, um, by trading that allows you to be able to, one, placing your money or send your money in through Bitcoin. And because you're able to send your money in through Bitcoin, instead of having the 3 to 5 days that it would take for you to be able to get your money back, when it comes down to taking a withdrawal on like Oanda or Forex.com or anything else like that, this will allow you to be able to get your money back in 1 to 3 hours. So, like one of the biggest trades that I ended up having, to where I think I ended up making about $5,000 in one of those days. I was like, forget that. I'm going to use that for a trip and stuff like that. So ended up withdrawing that $5,000 and actually was able to get that $5,000 within about 2 to 3 hours compared to 3 to 5 days that it would typically take. So if you're interested in being able to learn a little bit more about iSpreadFX, what I'm going to do is that I'm actually going to copy that inside of the chat box. I'm going to quote it to your name so you can be able to see the broker. But there it is right there. Everybody, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. We got a few trades to the end. Hopefully everything kind of plays out our favor. Once again, we are in that mode to where we can see that we have big trades that are about to truly be able to move. And we're about to get into a larger vortex area if that does happen. On this one, we got to be a little bit patient and we got to have a little bit of luck. And if that plays out, then it'll be great. I think it kind of really matters about what's going to happen here at 9:30 and seeing if this market's going to end up having a pop, kind of like what happened with Bitcoin. But we'll see how everything kind of plays out from there. Like always, if you like what I end up doing, click on that boost button, share it to people so we can be able to keep on having this community end up growing. Obviously, the biggest thing is to be able to remain to be profitable and try to stay profitable as much as possible and kind of move forward from there. That's what I think everybody wants, and we can kind of go and keep on doing what we're doing, and then hopefully people will start noticing. Like always, plan your trade your plan. Everyone, y'all have a great weekend. We won't do a night session tonight, obviously. I'll see y'all on Monday. Oh, Monday. This will be Monday. Will be an earlier time. Instead of doing 8, it's probably going to have to be a little bit earlier than that. I'm probably going to be shooting for. To be honest, I'm probably going to be shooting for 6:30 a.m. I know that's kind of early, but that'll be the only time that I truly have in the morning. All right, everybody, take it easy. Bye.